Hello world. I'm just kidding. That's not how I'm going to start this. Cheers to all of those watching. This is probably the greatest video ever to grace the internet. Just want to throw that out there. Isn't that right?
Couldn't be more right. Couldn't be more right.
I feel like it's going to be the best video there ever was. Okay, so actually I'm going to do a in the bag video. I haven't seen an in the bag video for anybody that's on Team MVP or anybody that throws MVP discs only. And by MVP discs only, I mean Axiom as well. So I'm going to start with my putters. This is what I putt with. I have 3 neutron anodes, and the neutron plastic is pretty hard. I would say I'm going to try to compare all these discs to Innova discs, because obviously everybody knows Innova discs pretty well because they have been around for quite some time. But I putted with McPros before I putted with these, and I would say they're the most similar in feel. They don't have a lip like the Ion does. They're not quite as stable as the Ion, but I don't know. They drop more than the McPro, I would say, but as far as feel goes, it was the easiest transition for me to go from the McPro to the Anode. Excellent putters. I like how hard they are. I like how consistent they are. Literally every single one of these throws the same. I throw this one, but like I said, they all throw exactly the same, so extremely consistent disc. I did notice with McPros, certain ones would fly differently than others, but like I said, these things fly exactly the same. So neutron anodes, max weight, that's what I putt with. Great putter. I recommend anybody to do that. And then I don't throw any ions, although I do like the Ion a lot. It's a great disc. It's pretty much the more stable version of an anode, so you can throw those as well. But for my throwing putters, I throw Envies. I have a neutron Envy and a soft Envy. And these discs are this is by far the greatest disc ever. It's like a slower rock, I would compare it to. A slower, stable rock. Excellent disc. I mean, Gaston sees me throw it probably, 80% of the time off the tee pad?
Absolutely.
Super consistent, like I said. Both of these discs fly about the same. It's kind of just for feel. I'll throw the neutron one because I trust it a little more. The soft Envy is a little bit more stable, so I'll throw that on shots that I definitely need it to go left. But I can get this Envy to pretty much fly straight or hold any line that I want. I'll force it to turn over or whatnot. So the Envies are excellent discs. They will do what you want without turning over if you throw it hard. So you can definitely crank down on this disc and it's going to do what you want it to do. Like I said, it's similar to a rock, but probably a little slower. Those are literally all the putters I have. I will probably put another Envy in my bag. I just don't have one in there right now. I'll move on to mids, and I throw an Eclipse Tangent, pretty flippy. It's going to hold any line you throw it soft on. For me, if I crank down on it and really don't fan grip it, just power grip it and throw it, it's going to turn over right. I'll throw it if I have to throw something that's going to fade right, and I can't force it, that I need to release on a hyzer. I'll throw my Tangent because I can trust that it's going to fly at a hyzer and slowly fade right. So, good disc, but I just don't have a lot of use for it. So I only have one. I carry one Tangent. I also carry one Proton Matrix, which I would say it's the closest thing to an actual rock. It's a little bit faster of an Envy. Probably not quite as stable. I can throw it straight, and it's going to stay straight. If it's windy, it's going to fade a little bit right, but it's still going to try to come back left. So the Matrix is a great disc, especially for slower speeds. For slower arm speeds, if you're throwing a Matrix, it's going to fly like a rock. It's a more stable Tangent, I would say. So good disc, very reliable. I keep a tensor in my bag if it is windy and I do need a disc that's mid and it's going to just try to fly straight. But like I said, I would only throw the tensor if it's windy. It's pretty stable, but it's not Gator stable. It'd be, I don't even know really what I would compare it to. Maybe a Shark. But But yeah, so I throw this if it was windy and I need it to stay straight and just drop. I don't throw it very often, but like I said, if it's windy. I do have one Innova disc in my bag. This wonderful Gator here. It's a Gator. MVP and Axiom don't really have a disc right now that is as stable as the Gator. I can put this thing on an Annie and everybody knows the Gator is going to come back left. So it's definitely a utility disc and I use it quite often. I'm sure eventually this will be replaced as well, but until then this is the one disc that I have yet to find an MVP replacement for. That's literally all the mids that I have. I don't throw a lot of mids. Moving on to fairway drivers, I only throw one fairway driver, and that's a Volt. Actually, not true. I throw a Volt and a Fireball. But anyways, let's see here. Okay, I only have 2 Volts in my bag right now. I usually have 3. I usually have 2 of these. The Volt, the Eclipse Glow Proton Volt. It's extremely comparable to a T-Bird. Literally the most reliable disc in my bag, I'd say, aside from my Envy. I mean, it's just does whatever you want it to do. This one's a little bit more flippy. I can release it flat into a headwind. It's still probably going to come back, but it'll turn over a little bit and I'll get some good distance out of it, but it's going to fly pretty straight. This one's stable. I can turn it over, throw it on an Annie, and pretty much guarantee that it will come back, but it will hold that line for quite some time. So I throw the Volts very often. This is probably my favorite disc, along with the Envy that they have come out with yet. So the Volt's extremely good. If you're looking for a T-Bird replacement or something similar to a T-Bird, just a very controllable fairway driver, this is the go-to. You lost the Volt, didn't you?
I did. I lost the Volt last week.
He was pretty upset about it. I would just say that.
That's go-to. Go-to.
He was not very happy about losing the Volt. Okay, I guess you can consider... I think it's considered a distance driver, actually. But the Fireball, I'm sure everyone can guess what that is comparable to. I throw 2 Neutron Fireballs. I used to throw the Proton Plastic, but I feel like the Neutron Fireball is comparable to the Sexton Firebirds, whereas the Proton Fireballs are comparable to just like a really stable Firebird. And I personally don't need something that stable, so I prefer the Nate Sexton Firebird, so I would prefer the Fireball. The Neutron Fireball Plastic, it's extremely stable, don't get me wrong. I can put it on a flick like this and it's still going to come back. It's consistent on any headwind to come back left. I throw the Fireballs very often. Extremely awesome disc. I use it a lot for flicks and just super hyzer shots. Put it on a spike, it's going to always fade and drop and stay. So Fireball's excellent disc, good replacement for a Firebird. So that's all my fairway drivers. And then I have quite a few distance drivers, actually. I really, really liked... I say liked, like I don't like it anymore, I still do, but I flick... I've gotten used to the Photon. I throw 2 Neutron Photons. It's kind of like a Wraith, I would say. It's probably got less glide than a Wraith. I would say these drop quicker. But for me, it's my flick disc. I can just touch flicks with the Photon. I used to drive with it until I found the Octane. But the Photon's a sweet disc. Very reliable, pretty straight with a little bit of fade. Good for, like I said, tight flick lines that don't need to be super stable. You can get some distance out of them. Good disc. I like the Photon a lot. I guess I'll go ahead and just say the Tesla as well. I throw 2 Neutron Teslas. It's pretty much an Orc. And I used to love the Orc. Whenever I threw Innova and other plastics, I had like 3 Orcs in my bag, and I was always like the dude that had an Orc, and everybody thought it was weird. So the Tesla was my Orc replacement. I love it. It's my backhand driver when I don't need like a lot of distance, but I still need control more than the Volt. But like just a solid fade, maybe 350 feet, just some good distance, but something I'm not gonna really throw a fairway driver on. these are my drivers. I do flick them sometimes when I need a little bit more stable than the Photon, but rarely I flick it. I'll usually just flick the Photon. But Tesla's excellent backhand disc, got a lot of good fade. They stay stable, so good disc there. Obviously, I just mentioned the Octane. The Octane's awesome. I was skeptical about this disc at first because, not skeptical, but I took time to try it because I was so happy with the Photons. And these discs, I don't want to say they've replaced my Photons, but I definitely don't flick these, and I flick the Photons now, and I don't throw the Photons backhand at all anymore. But these discs are amazing. They're literally a destroyer, which I feel like they have more glide than a destroyer, and I was a huge fan of the destroyer, as is everyone ever in the world. So Octane's huge distance drivers. So I'm trying to get distance with like stability, with some overstability. This is the disc. I'll crank on it, Annie, and it'll just come back. It's everything that a destroyer is, if not more. Because like I said, I think it's got a little bit more glide. Excellent disc. I throw them quite often. I just put these two in my bag, and Gaston got to witness this actually. But actually, I've got 3 of them in my bag. So I've got 3 catalysts because I was trying them out, and I actually threw this bad boy almost 500 feet.
Good throw.
You saw it.
Yeah, it was twice. Witness.
So, yeah, the catalyst. It's freaking awesome. It's super flippy. Like these Proton ones are a little bit less flippy. Pretty cool stamp there. But these Proton catalysts are a little bit less flippy than the Neutron one. Also, this Neutron one's a little bit lighter. It's not max weight, but it's super like just open field. You want distance, you know, you can just put it on a super hyzer and just watch it flip up, and then it actually, for me, it's fading back a little bit at the end too, but like I said, I'm getting as much carry as possible. It's an awesome disc. The catalyst is great, super flippy. I'd say it's like, I don't want to say it's like a Mamba, but honestly, like, this thing is extremely flippy. I'd say it's just like a step down from a Mamba, and it's fun to throw. So I would try that if you're trying to get a lot of distance with a hyzer flip. Try the Octane if you're trying to get a lot of distance with stability. So that's pretty much my bag.
What about them pockets, bro? What are we working with in the pockets?
What are you talking about, dude?
We'll see it. We know the disc. Let's see what the pastimes are.
Talking about like when
you're bored,
when you're in the
in the pockets of the bag, yeah.
No.
Well, you know, just in case that I get bored, you know, on the course, if I'm trying to, like, you know, you get some cards, you know, you get behind, like, you know, you get behind some slow people.
He went there.
The Grandmasters. You know, I just pull out my puzzle, my 500-piece puzzle, completed.
But bust it out real quick.
Completed.
Bust it out real quick.
I'd like to thank my sponsor, Puzzle Bug, for this plug right here.
I can't.
So, yeah, puzzles. We got that. Also, you know, if I want to play FIFA 14.
Yeah. Just
In the middle of...
You know, it's no big deal. It's whatever. FIFA 14 in the
Just
corner.
let me flip it.
And then, I think I have a couple other recreational items, too. Game Boy.
There we go.
Color.
There we go.
You know, keeping it classy.
Use it after the busting out
You know,
the
most
puzzle
people
real
are
quick.
checking their scores. Not me.
No, we're playing Pokemon.
Pokemon Blue.
Yep.
On the green Game Boy. So, yeah, got that. Got my puzzle. I'll do that first, really
Absolutely.
quickly.
Absolutely.
Not long, because it's really easy.
Yeah.
Then this Game Boy, and then I'll, like, maybe try and sell FIFA 14, because I don't really have an Xbox when I'm out there. But anyways, also, Icy Hot. This is actually a real good tip. Like, for real, I do use this, for real. Icy Hot's amazing, saves my life when I'm out there. I'll put that on quite often for breeze, just in case.
For the
smelling.
The smelliest of holes. Yeah.
I mean, this bag doesn't smell great all the time. I will just say that. And a disc golf, this is like a disc golf like thing. When you're carrying all the
pro
bags,
tip?
this is dude. When
The
you're
pro
carrying
tip.
all the bags and stuff, you want to and it's in the car and it smells like crap. This is what you got. This is what you need. Okay, that's about it, dude. I got like a towel and stuff, like actual stuff that I use for disc golf. But other than that, that's the old in the bag. Wait, I got Cheetos too. Actually,
There we
Cheeto
go.
Puffs,
There you go.
and also regular crunchy Cheetos.
Depending on the
Don't
day.
need drinks.
Yeah.
You don't need Powerade.
I know.
Powerade. All right.
Cheetos, take you there.
Thanks.